Hola, año 7. ¿Qué tal? ¿Bien? Aquí está nuestra do now. ¿Qué números faltan? Vamos a hacer la pregunta sur el papel. So, you can do your answers, please, on the piece of paper that you have in front of you, and we will do the date and title a bit later. See if you can work out here which numbers are missing and see if you can write the words correctly in Spanish. If you finish before we go through the answers, see if you can make up another one for your partner to do. Okay, 4 minutos. Ok, terminado. Vamos a hacer las respuestas. Ahora, A, 2, 3, 4, 5. So A is 5, which is 5. B, 4, 8, 12, 16. So we've got 4, 8, and 12, and 16. So you should have 12 written in for B. C, 5, 15, 25, 40. So we should have here 15. We're going up in 10. So 5, 15, 25. So we should have 15 written there. Let's just remind ourselves how to write 15 with that QU and the CE at the end. And el último de 15, 18, 21, 21, 24. So 15, 18, 21, going up in threes, and 24. Well done, fantástico. Si todos son correctos. Bueno, ok, lean la conversación aquí. ¿Qué es nuestro objetivo hoy? So I want you to have a read of this conversation. See what is new in there and what do you think that might mean and what we might be learning today. So, hola, ¿cómo te llamas? Me llamo Pablo. ¿Y tú? Me llamo Silvia. ¿Qué tal, Pablo? Estupendo, gracias. ¿Cómo estás? Mal. ¿Cuántos años tienes? Tengo 12 años. ¿Y tú? Tengo 14 años. ¿Tienes hermanos? Sí, tengo 3 hermanos y 2 hermanas. ¿Y tú? No tengo hermanos. Soy hijo único. Adiós. Hasta luego. So, did you get it? What did you think our objective is to learn today? It's this key phrase here. Tienes hermanos. Tienes hermanos. Now, having a look at the answer then. Tengo 3 hermanos y 2 hermanas. No tengo hermanos, soy hijo único. What do you think the question might mean? Well done if you got it. It means, do you have brothers and sisters? So, hermanos would be brothers and sisters, and tienes would be you have or do you have. Now, where have we seen tienes before in a question in Spanish? Yes, it's here in this conversation. ¿Cuántos años tienes? Because in Spanish we have years. In English we are them. So I am 10, but in Spanish I have 10 years. So we've seen tienes before. Good. So here's our objectives today, to be being able to ask and answer the question tienes hermanos, and do that with as little support as possible. Okay, let's get, vamos a escribir la fecha y el título para hoy. Por favor, y el título para hoy es ¿Tienes hermanos? Bueno, so let's have practice of saying that phrase then. So we've got tienes hermanos. Tienes hermanos. Repite, tienes hermanos. Bueno, so now we're going to learn some of the phrases. So, repite, tengo un hermano. Tengo un hermano. ¿Qué significa en inglés? Tengo un hermano. ¿Qué significa un hermano en inglés? Sí, a brother. I have a brother or one brother. Muy bien. Repite, tengo una hermana. Repite, tengo una hermana. ¿Qué significa en inglés una hermana? Sí, una hermana es a sister. ¿Qué significa tengo en inglés? Sí, tengo en inglés es I have. So the whole phrase, tengo una hermana, I have a sister. Muy bien. Tengo un hermano. Tengo una hermana. Repite, tengo dos hermanos. Tengo dos hermanos. Okay, so what does this one mean? So we've got dos in there. We know dos is two. So this one is I have two brothers. What changes with the word hermano? It adds an S on the end. Well done if you got that. So tengo dos hermanos. I have two brothers. So how do you think you would say I have two sisters? You would change the una to dos and you would put an S at the end of hermana. So therefore then it would become tengo dos hermanas. And tengo dos hermanos would be I have two brothers. Excelente. Ok, bueno, repite. Tengo un hermano y dos hermanas. Otra vez, repite. Tengo un hermano y dos hermanas. ¿Qué significa en inglés? En inglés significa I have one brother and two sisters. Well done if you got that. Okay. Tengo un hermanastro. Repite. Tengo un hermanastro. What do you think un hermanastro is? Un hermanastro. Sí, un hermanastro significa half brother or step brother. In Spanish, they don't distinguish between those. They just use the same word, hermanastro. What do you think the next slide is going to show? That's right, step sister or half sister. And what do you think changes with this word? Yes, you're right. Hermanastro changes from O to A. So hermanastra. Does anything else change in the sentence? Well, the un changes from un to una. Tengo un hermanastra. Here we go. Tengo una hermanastra. Repite. Tengo una hermanastra. Excelente, muy bien. Ok. No tengo hermanos. Now, this person doesn't have brothers and sisters. So instead of saying tengo, we say no tengo. So tengo, I have, and no tengo, I don't have. Repite, no tengo hermanos. And in this sentence, when we say no tengo hermanos, it does really have two meanings. It could mean I don't have brothers, but it could also mean I don't have brothers or sisters. But the next part of the new sentence clarifies this. He says, soy hijo único. Try and practice that. Soy hijo único. Good. Now, what do you think that phrase is? If it begins with I, what do you think it could mean? Well done if you got it. It means I am an only child. And if you were a boy and you were an only child, this is the phrase you would use. Soy hijo único. And if you were a girl and you were an only child, this is the phrase you would use here. Soy hija única. Soy hija única. Try and say that. Soy hija única. And then obviously you could say no tengo hermanas. We could say no tengo hermanos. If you're an only child, you'd probably just say no tengo hermanos, because it means I don't have brothers or sisters. Muy bien. So let's just practice those again. Repite. Tengo un hermano. Tengo una hermana. Tengo un hermanastro. Tengo una hermanastra. Tengo dos hermanos. Tengo un hermano y dos hermanas. No tengo hermanos. Soy hijo único. No tengo hermanos. Soy hija única. Muy bien. Excelente. If you need to go over those again and practice again, you can just rewind the video. Muy bien. Ok, vamos a escribir ahora. Vamos a escribir. So on your sheet of paper, you need to record the key vocabulary from today. So here's the English that I want you to write down. So a brother, a sister. What does the word, how do you say brothers? How do you say sisters? How do you say I'm an only child if I'm a girl? How do you say I'm an only child if I'm a boy? And then what is the Spanish for stepbrother and stepsister? Okay, so here we are. Here's the English words in the middle for you and the phrases that we've just practiced. See if you can get them written down correctly in the right place on your sheets. 8 minutos. Ok, bueno, terminado. Vamos a hacer las respuestas. So here are your answers. This is what it should look like. So a brother is un hermano, and then a sister, una hermana. And then for brothers, we've got hermanos, because we've got that S on the end, and the same with hermanas. And soy hija única, if I'm an only child and I'm a girl. Soy hijo único, if I'm an only child and I'm a boy. And then stepbrother is un hermanastro, and stepsister, una hermanastra. Muy bien. If you need to remind yourself that tengo is I have, write that down underneath as well. Tengo is I have. We'll have an opportunity to write about our own family a bit later on in the lesson. Excelente. Ok, ahora vamos a escuchar. Vamos a escuchar. Escucha y escribe la letra correcta. So it's quite straightforward, year 7. You're going to hear them say these phrases. You need to listen and decide which of the phrases the person is saying and write the correct letter. You will hear each one twice, and we'll do the first one together.
Escucha y escribe la letra correcta. 1. ¿Tienes hermanos?
Sí, tengo un hermano.
1. ¿Tienes hermanos?
Sí, tengo un hermano.
Okay, so for number 1, you should have A, tengo un hermano. So you should have the letter A written down. Okay.
2. ¿Tienes hermanos?
Tengo una hermanastra.
¿Tienes hermanos?
Tengo una hermanastra.
3.
¿Tienes hermanos? Sí, tengo una hermana.
3.
¿Tienes hermanos? Sí, tengo una hermana.
4.
¿Tienes hermanos? Sí, tengo un hermanastro.
4.
¿Tienes hermanos? Sí, tengo un hermanastro.
5.
¿Tienes hermanos?
Sí, tengo 2 hermanos. 5.
¿Tienes hermanos?
Sí, tengo 2 hermanos. 6.
¿Tienes hermanos? No, no tengo hermanos. Soy hija única.
6.
¿Tienes hermanos? No, no tengo hermanos. Soy hija única.
7.
¿Tienes hermanos? Sí, tengo un hermano y 2 hermanas.
7.
¿Tienes hermanos? Sí, tengo un hermano y 2 hermanas.
8.
¿Tienes hermanos? No, no tengo hermanos. Soy hijo único.
8.
¿Tienes hermanos? No, no tengo hermanos. Soy hijo único.
Bueno, okay, vamos a hacer las respuestas. Okay, so done number 1. Número 1 es A, and then we go. 2 is D. 3 is B. 4 C. 5 E. 6 H. 7 F. 8 G. Okay, hopefully you got all of those right. Well done, year 7. If there's any the whole class didn't quite get right, have another listen again just to check that you can hear the difference between those phrases. Muy bien. Okay, vamos a escribir ahora. So we're going to do a bit of writing practice now. see if you can use the vocabulary that we've been learning. So as you can see, the first one here is done for us. We've got a picture of a sister and two brothers. So we've got sí, which means yes. Tengo una hermana y dos hermanos. So yes, I have a sister and two brothers. So that E in the middle there is our and word, isn't it? Word that means and, E. Okay, so see if you can have a go at doing this one. Number 2, 2 sisters and 3 brothers. Number 3, 1 of each, so 1 sister and 1 brother. And then number 4, 3 brothers, 2 sisters and a half sister, which is your challenge question. Okay, 5 minutos. Ok, excelente. Vamos a hacer las respuestas. Ahora, so we've got for number 2 then, 2 sisters and 3 brothers should be sí, tengo dos hermanas y 3 hermanos. Hopefully you've got that written correctly. Número 3 should be sí, tengo, make sure you haven't forgotten the tengo, sí, tengo un hermano y una hermana. Now remember that when we've got a number of a brother and sisters, it's not 1, it's 2 or more. We're going to get rid of the un or una and just leave the number. Because we wouldn't say in English, would we, I have 3 sisters. We would just say, I have 3 sisters. So it's the same in Spanish. Okay, and the last one then, cuatro. See if you got this one correct. We've got, sí, tengo 3 hermanos, 2 hermanas y una hermanastra. So well done if you got those correct. Just spend a minute now just checking that your spellings are perfect, please, and that you have not missed out any accents. Okay, y tú. So now we need to practice, and here is your opportunity to write about you and your family. So how many brothers and sisters do you have? So you need to write that out as a sentence. So, ¿tienes hermanos? Sí, tengo 2 hermanos y 2 hermanas. O no, no tengo hermanos. Soy hija única. So you choose what you should write here about your family. You might have stepbrothers and stepsisters, as well as brothers and sisters. It might be quite a long sentence. But using the work that you've got on your paper already, see if you can write a sentence about you. And then when you and the person next to you have done that, see if you can practice asking and answering each other the question, ¿Tienes hermanos? And see if you can get to the stage where you can do it without looking at your piece of paper. Bueno, terminado. I'm sure your teachers led lots of fantastic conversations there. Muy bien. Okay, last activity. El último actividad para hoy. Is we're going to do a little bit of reading here. So all you've got to do on your piece of paper is fill in the gaps in English in these sentences. So for number 1, who lives in Ecuador? Have a look at the texts on here and see if you can work it out. Number 2, where does Carmen live? 3, who is 12 years old? Have a look and see if you can work it out who it is. Okay. 3 minutos. Okay, terminado. Vamos a hacer las respuestas. So, número 1, who lives in Ecuador? Well, Oscar lives in Ecuador. He lives in Quito, which is the capital of Ecuador. Muy bien. 2, Carmen lives in Chile. So she lives in Santiago, and that's in Chile. Good. 3, who is 12 years old? Well, Hugo, or Hugo in English, is 12 years old. 4, Carmen has 2 brothers and 1 sister. Well done if you got that one correct. Number 5, número 5. It's Hugo because he has no brothers or sisters. He says soy hijo único at the bottom of his text there. And número 6, Oscar has 2 sisters and 1 step brother or half brother. Either of those answers are correct. So well done if you got both of that, all of those. Fantástico, año 7. Well done today. Adiós, hasta luego.